Hi, I'm Mike Winkler, and I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain in Issaquah, Washington.
And I'm E.J. Bolds. I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain on Mercer Island, Washington.
EJ, in our last video blog post, we talked about the necessity for home inspection.
That's right.
And we did it under the guise of protections for a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it occurred to me that there is a whole host of due diligence that a buyer really needs to do in terms of inspections, reviews, etc. And so I thought today we should talk about them.
That's right, and there's so many that we can only give a brief overview. We'll probably do further blogs on each one separately as we go along, like we did.
Let's plan on that. Let's just do a blog post on every subject we're going to do, with the exception of inspections, because we just did that one on May 31st, which is on the Realty Brothers.
That's right. So the first one is financing. Virtually every home sale has a financing condition for the buyer, which basically means that if they make a good faith effort to obtain financing following the rules of the forms and they don't get their financing, they can terminate the agreement and get their earnest money back.
Right, and the next one is home inspection, which we've covered, but essentially it really is a protection for the buyer so that they know that what they see is what they're going to get and not what's lurking underneath it all.
That's right. Perhaps one of the most misunderstood reviews that a buyer does, is the title review. Title insurance is just that, where the title of the property is insured by a company, but the buyer has a responsibility to actually review what the company will and will not insure in a title review. And again, we'll get into that in another blog.
Yes, and neighborhood review is another critical one, to make sure that it really meets the needs of you and your significant other, partner, family, whoever is buying with you, and that from schools to sex offenders.
Absolutely. Form 17 review. Form 17 is the seller's disclosure form that's used in the state of Washington. So buyers get a 3-day review period to see if there's anything on that Form 17 that makes them wonder about the condition of the home, and they would have a right to terminate based on that information.
Right, and one of the federal requirements, and a very good one, is about lead-based paint on homes that were built prior to 1978. It's not only a required review, or at least the acknowledgement that you've received the opportunity to review, but it's really an important one, particularly if you have children.
That's correct. One of the new reviews that buyers have since about, I'm going to say 2005 or 2006, when we had new contracts in our multiple, is a opportunity to see if there have been any misrepresentations by the seller or the seller's listing broker. The buyer has 10 days to see if there were any misrepresentations and possibly terminate based on that information. But Mike, we talk about all these reviews and all these rights that buyers have. Is that good for the seller? I mean, here they've got, a buyer has all these ways to get out of a contract. How does that work for the seller?
It's fabulous for the seller because it gives the seller an opportunity for a clean break when the home closes.
And so what do you mean? Are you saying that because the buyers had the right to do all this due diligence, the seller has to tell what they know about the home in terms of any defects, but then the buyer's due diligence on top of that allows for that transparency and therefore a clean break when they've closed?
Absolutely. There's nothing worse than having any contract of any type close and wondering if there's something that can come back afterwards. And so the best protection for a seller is to encourage a buyer to do all of the reviews, including home inspection and just everything that goes with the sale of a home, so that when they close, they can walk away knowing that they've done the right thing and that it's truly over.
And one of the major points about all of this is, as perhaps our consumer viewers are thinking about, maybe the complexity of going through all these reviews and all these processes. That's why we always suggest, and of course we're real estate guys, but that you always work with a competent real estate broker, because there are different processes for each of these reviews, different forms, different timelines. So very important that you're working with a true professional.
EJ, in today's real estate world, with short sales and bank-owned properties, or known as REOs, and the different contracts that get inserted into the process because of that on a national basis, but at the local level, it really is much more complicated than ever before. And so while when you have a major legal issue or a financial issue, you seek the help of a CPA or an attorney, this is really no different. This is one of the biggest investments of your life. And with again, with all of the issues in today's economic world coming out of this recession, no more important than ever than to have a realtor.
Absolutely. I'm E.J. Bolds.
I'm Mike Winkler. Till next time.